1984, a dystopian novel and cautionary tale by English writer George Orwell. Key point 1. A totalitarian regime employs oppression and manipulation to impose its rules on the masses. Totalitarianism is a system of government in which people have minimal authority and the state exercises absolute control. Leaders in such systems are shrouded in a fear-inducing veil, preventing detailed judgments or opinions about them. Strict control extends to various aspects of daily life, dictating what the masses read, eat, wear, and hear, leaving little room for individual autonomy. Super-surveillance ensures complete compliance, with rulers closely monitoring and punishing those who deviate, an ominous concept often referred to as Big Brother is watching. Contrary to the omnipotent image, there is no actual Big Brother. Instead, the government employs a covert thought police to monitor and discreetly correct deviations in behavior or independent thoughts through kidnapping and brainwashing. In a normal society, rules and moral codes guide behavior, but people adhere willingly for the sake of communal harmony, not out of compulsion. This summary explores the dangers and inhumanity of totalitarianism, shedding light on how it enforces conformity through strange laws and unnatural punishments. It delves into the impact of classism, mass media control, government surveillance, and manipulations on shaping history, thoughts, and lives. Interesting fact: totalitarianism persisted at varying times worldwide, with Turkmenistan reportedly still under its influence as of 2022, according to Wikipedia. Key point 2. Propaganda serves as a tool to disseminate lies in favor of those in power, with totalitarianism relying heavily on it to ensure complete obedience. It comprises orchestrated messages designed to influence the opinions and behaviors of large populations, often distorting evident truths. Given that citizens' sole information source is the government, they tend to unquestioningly accept anything they hear, a phenomenon persisting even in contemporary society, particularly in politics, where propaganda is wielded to advance various agendas. Enforcers, individuals remunerated to lend credibility to propaganda, play a pivotal role in shaping narratives into perceived facts. Consequently, it becomes imperative to approach information, especially online or in the news, with skepticism and verify facts when necessary. In the modern era, social media stands out as the primary platform for the propagation of propaganda. In George Orwell's depicted society, surveillance and misinformation worked hand in hand, ensuring the populace accepted and adhered to false truths, fostering loyalty to the government. The masses eagerly await the ruling class's words, considering them as the ultimate truth, manipulated to align with the government's interests. Distinguishing between truth and propaganda is crucial, urging individuals to seek the truth independently rather than passively accepting everything they encounter, recognizing that misinformation may be a tactic to exert control from higher authorities. As George Orwell astutely notes, consciousness precedes rebellion, emphasizing the importance of awareness in challenging the influence of propaganda. Key point 3. The power and authority of a totalitarian government are solidified through the infliction of both mental and physical suffering. Similar to propaganda, a subtle manipulation of reality occurs, distorting the perception of truth and exploiting the mind's adaptability to new information. The human mind possesses the capacity to accept random and conflicting information, constantly altering its perception in response. This manipulation of reality has contributed to poverty in various parts of the world, with many individuals seeking an escape, while a larger force fights to maintain their impoverished conditions, a dynamic observable even in contemporary slums and ghettos. Moreover, the minds of the masses are subjected to subversion, dictating their impulses and aspirations. Governments enforce control over people's actions, emotions, expressions, and even their relationships. Drawing parallels to George Orwell's depiction in 1984, lower-class citizens were restricted from engaging in intimate relationships unless for procreation, suppressing any form of passion and resulting in loveless and cold connections, leading to strained familial bonds. These tactics grant the government absolute sway over the populace, fostering a dispassionate and apathetic society. Simultaneously, it curtails any potential rebellion or opposition to the established rules, as uninspired individuals grapple with their personal struggles, leaving little room for dissent in the typical framework of a totalitarian government. Key point 4. In a totalitarian system, stringent checks and rules are imposed to ensure unwavering loyalty from its subjects, utilizing forced submission as a crucial tool in the hands of a dictator. While loyalty typically nurtures a sense of duty to a cause, it can be weaponized through total submissiveness, coerced from the masses, leaving them no choice but to offer unquestioning loyalty. The totalitarian system demands not just loyalty, but total submission and unconditional obedience, resulting in a robotic, zombie-like behavior from the people rather than a genuine, voluntary allegiance. Achieving such complete servitude is typically challenging, but a totalitarian system employs scare tactics to secure people's loyalty through force. Constant surveillance and monitoring, orchestrated by entities like the thought police, instill fear, ensuring that deviation from the norm leads to discreet capture and systematic brainwashing to reinstate loyalty. George Orwell aptly notes that power lies in tearing human minds apart and reconstructing them in new shapes of the ruling entity's choosing. Brainwashing is facilitated through the subversion of language, manipulating words and phrases to convey false meanings, exemplified by slogans like "War is peace," which distort reality and alienate the masses from the truth. Even in the 21st century, subtle coercion persists, compelling individuals to act against their deeper thoughts. The call to become more independent encourages intentional value choices, advocating for personal convictions over blindly following societal trends. Key point 5. Classism functions as a system designed to keep one group impoverished and powerless, serving the wealthy elite with ultimate authority. Under classism, people are stratified into distinct groups, as described by George Orwell. The elite class enjoys all worldly luxuries, with servants at their disposal, while the poor class lives in destitution, denied even basic familial pleasures. Their lives are dedicated to serving the government, a condition they are meant to consider as a privilege granted by their rulers, the elite class, a select few who dictate the destiny of the entire populace. Totalitarianism further suppresses the thoughts and behaviors of the lower class, depriving them of joy and freedom, although rebellion becomes challenging due to the closer proximity of the controlling hand. Dissenters who recognize the class system as a charade are branded enemies of the state and persecuted, often by the brainwashed poor class acting as law enforcers. Stripping a person of their identity makes it increasingly challenging for them to reclaim any semblance of independence, a tactic employed with ease in a totalitarian system. The system wields fear-inducing tools and employs propaganda to manipulate facts, distort reality, and deprive individuals of their inherent rights. A crucial characteristic of totalitarianism is reducing people to a state devoid of personal identities and independent thinking. The loss of identity is a gradual erosion of one's core beliefs and values. Unique traits that define individuals slowly fade away, replaced by a standardized set of values and beliefs. Over time, uniqueness dissipates, leaving individuals indistinguishable from one another, relegated to predetermined roles. They become mere numbers, insignificant in the grand scheme, carefully crafted into the image of the ideal obedient subject desired by the ruling class. In such a controlled environment, aspirations, preferences, and religious beliefs align, creating a population that mirrors each other until they conform to the ruling class's ideal. An individual devoid of identity or independent thought lacks the capacity to determine what is best for themselves or discern their true desires. Their lives are prescripted, and they know nothing beyond what they have been told since birth. This loss of self, ambition, and the aspiration to improve constitutes the inherent dangers of a totalitarian system. As George Orwell eloquently puts it, true freedom is the ability to state that 2 plus 2 make 4, acknowledging this fundamental truth as the cornerstone of all other freedoms. In conclusion, 1984 Inches delves into the disturbing realm of totalitarianism, exposing a world where this oppressive system is the sole governing force. Within this regime, individuals feel powerless and too fractured to resist, resulting in their passive acceptance of whatever they are told. Their lives are meticulously shaped to conform to the system, leaving them devoid of identity and independence until their demise. This soul-crushing environment perpetuates the dominance of the ruling class. Totalitarianism, characterized by gross oppression, should never be permitted to take root in any system, be it a nation, a classroom, or a family. Such a government thrives on mass submission, bolstering its control through fear-inducing tactics and mental manipulation. Operative on lies and a distortion of truth and history, it subverts the natural expression of rights and freedoms. This system accentuates the divide between the rich and the poor, with the impoverished resigning themselves to their lowly status, pitting them against each other rather than addressing their financial struggles. Totalitarianism, a psychological assault on the public, controls without relying on physical coercion. It systematically breaks individuals down internally, eroding their inclination to question, rebel, or entertain thoughts not sanctioned by the ruling class. Amidst the information overload in today's world, safeguard your mind by being discerning about the content you consume. Document your beliefs and actively seek information that challenges them to avoid falling victim to propaganda. Set ambitious goals for self-improvement, refusing to settle until you've realized your full potential.